I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, today we'll listen to a podcast about how to improve your English speaking skills by yourself.
Let's listen to it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Mark.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emma. Welcome back to our podcast, where we help you improve your English in fun and effective ways. Today, we're talking about something super important. Speaking.
That's right. If you're learning English, you probably already know this, but just studying grammar won't magically improve your speaking skills. You actually have to open your mouth and speak.
Exactly. Listening to English is great, but it's like watching someone else work out at the gym. You won't get stronger just by watching. You have to do the reps yourself. And let's be real, speaking can be intimidating. Many learners feel nervous about making mistakes. But guess what? That's totally normal. Making mistakes is part of the learning process.
Absolutely. But what if you don't have a speaking partner? Does that mean you're stuck? Not at all. There's a powerful technique that allows you to practice speaking all by yourself, and we're going to tell you all about it today. I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds great, but what if I don't have anyone to practice with? You're not alone. Many learners face this challenge.
That's right. We all know that speaking with a native speaker or a language partner can be very helpful, but sometimes that's just not an option. Maybe you live in a place where English isn't spoken much, or maybe you don't feel confident enough to talk to others yet. But don't worry, you can still improve your speaking skills on your own.
In fact, practicing alone can sometimes be even better. Why? Because it removes the fear of judgment. You can practice freely, repeat as much as you want, and build confidence before you ever have a real conversation.
And there's a technique that makes solo practice incredibly effective. Let's point it out now. The answer is imitation. Now, before you think, oh, you mean just repeating words like a parrot? No, we're going deeper than that.
This is about imitation on a whole new level. Here's how it works. You listen to someone speaking English, maybe a conversation, a short story, or even a speech. Then your challenge is to explain that idea in your own words.
Let's go over a quick example. Imagine you hear this sentence. When I was a child, my parents liked to pretend that Santa Claus would bring us presents at Christmas. Now it's your turn. You could say, when he was a child, his parents liked to pretend that Santa Claus would bring them presents at Christmas.
See how that works? You're not just copying the words. You're understanding the meaning and expressing it yourself. And the more you do this, the more natural it becomes. So, how can you start using this technique? Here's a simple step-by-step guide. 1. Start small. Listen to a short phrase and try to repeat it exactly. 2. Expand. Listen to a full sentence. Pause, and then try to say it in your own words. 3. Go bigger. Try to retell an entire story or speech using your own expressions.
This method is called easy-to-hard imitation. It's like progressive training at the gym. You start with light weights and gradually increase. Studies have shown that this kind of progressive learning is one of the best ways to improve a skill.
And speaking of studies, did you know that linguist Rod Ellis found that people learn grammar through natural learning? This means you don't have to memorize rules. Your brain picks them up automatically when you listen and imitate English.
Yes. And another study by Alexander Arguelles showed that shadowing, a technique similar to imitation, dramatically improves fluency, pronunciation, and listening comprehension. So this isn't just a theory. It's backed by science.
Plus, imitation is great for pronunciation. It helps you practice the rhythm and melody of English, which makes you sound more natural. So, even if you don't have a perfect accent, your speech will be clearer and more understandable.
Why does imitation work so well? because it's how babies learn their first language. They don't sit down with grammar books, right?
Exactly. Babies listen, imitate, and naturally acquire the language. The same thing happens when you imitate English speakers. You start picking up correct sentence structures, pronunciation, and rhythm without even realizing it.
Plus, this technique helps you think in English instead of translating from your native language. That's a game changer.
And let's not forget confidence. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel speaking in real conversations. Before you know it, speaking English will feel much more natural.
So, are you ready to give it a shot? Find a short English clip, a podcast, a YouTube video, or even a movie scene, and start imitating today.
Start small and challenge yourself more over time. You'll be amazed at how quickly your English improves.
And if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on improving your English. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Happy learning, everyone.
Wow, that was a really interesting episode. I never thought about how effective imitation could be for improving speaking skills.
It makes so much sense. Babies learn by imitating, so why shouldn't we do the same?
Exactly. And I like the method of simple steps, starting small and then gradually working up to full sentences.
Yeah, and I love the idea that practicing alone can actually be an advantage. No pressure, no fear of mistakes, just improving at your own pace.
Definitely true.
All right, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is intimidating. Then we will continue with to acquire and speaking of something or somebody. Then go over. And the final one is give something a shot.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is intimidating.
Intimidating.
Intimidating means making someone feel scared, nervous, or less confident because something or someone seems powerful, serious, or difficult.
Oh, so if something is intimidating, it makes us feel small or unsure?
Exactly. For example, the teacher looked very serious, and that was intimidating for the students. This means that the students felt nervous because the teacher looked strict.
Ah, I get it. Or speaking in front of a big audience can be intimidating. This means that talking in front of many people can make you feel nervous or scared.
Yes, that's a perfect example. Something can feel intimidating because it looks difficult or unfamiliar.
So, intimidating is an adjective, right?
Yes, it describes something or someone that makes you feel nervous or scared. And we can also use the verb intimidate to talk about the action. For example, the big dog intimidated the little cat. That means the big dog made the cat feel scared.
Ah, so intimidating describes things, and intimidate is the action. What about the feeling?
Great question. When you feel this way, you can say, I feel intimidated. Like, I feel intimidated when I have to speak in front of a big audience.
Got it. Let's try a few more examples.
Sure, how about this? The exam was so difficult that many students found it intimidating.
Oh yes, exams can be scary. Here's another. Speaking English with native speakers can be intimidating at first, but it gets easier with practice.
That's a great one. Many learners feel that way.
So, is intimidating a formal word?
Not really. You can use it in both formal and informal situations. It's great for work, school, or everyday conversation.
Okay, well, I think now our listeners understand the word intimidating better. Now, let's move on to our next word.
The next word is acquire.
Acquire.
Acquire is a verb. It means to get or gain something, usually through effort or learning. For example, if you study a lot, you can acquire new skills. Acquire is often used when we gain something over time or through a process.
Oh, So I acquired a lot of knowledge from reading books. This means she learned a lot because she read many books.
Yes, that's a perfect example. You didn't just get the knowledge quickly, you learned it over time.
So acquire can be used for knowledge and skills. What else?
Good question. You can also acquire things, especially if you get them in a formal way. For example, the company acquired new technology last year. That means the company bought or got new technology.
Oh, so businesses can acquire other businesses too, right?
Exactly. If one company buys another, we say Company A acquired Company B.
Got it. So acquire is a verb, right?
Yes. And the noun form is acquisition. For example, language acquisition is important for communication. That means the process of learning a language.
So acquire is the verb and acquisition is the noun.
Let's try a few more examples.
Sure. How about this? Children acquire language naturally by listening and speaking.
That's a great one. Here's another. He acquired a taste for spicy food after living in Mexico. That means he learned to like spicy food over time.
Oh, I love that. You can acquire a taste for things. Now, is acquire formal or informal?
It sounds a bit formal. It's more formal than just saying get or learn. In casual speech, people often say get instead of acquire.
Oh, so instead of I acquired a new book, I would just say I got a new book.
Exactly. But in business, education, or formal writing, acquire sounds better.
Okay, well, I think we've explained acquire pretty well. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is speaking of something or somebody.
Speaking of something or somebody.
This is a phrase we use in conversation. It helps us connect what we are talking about to a new but related topic.
Yes, it's like saying, this reminds me of, or since we are talking about this, let me add something related.
Exactly. Here's an example. I love Italian food. Speaking of Italian food, have you tried that new Italian restaurant? This means the first sentence reminded the speaker of the restaurant, so they changed the topic slightly.
So it helps us smoothly change the subject?
Yes, Lisa. Here's another one. Tom is really good at playing the guitar. Speaking of Tom, did you know he started a band? This means Tom was mentioned, and now we are adding more information about him.
Like if you say, I saw Sarah at the cafe today, I could say, speaking of Sarah, did you know she got a new job?
Yes, it sounds very natural.
So is speaking of formal or informal, Eric?
It's mostly informal. You'll hear it in daily conversations, but you probably wouldn't use it in very formal writing.
So in a business email, I wouldn't say, speaking of our last meeting, let's plan the next one.
Right. Instead, in formal writing, you'd say something like, regarding our last meeting.
Okay, well, that's it for the word speaking of. Let's move on to the next word.
The next phrase is go over.
Go over.
Go over is a phrasal verb and has a few meanings, but the most common one is to review or check something carefully.
So if I say, let's go over the homework before we turn it in, I mean let's check or review it.
Exactly. You can also say, before the test, I went over my notes one more time. That means you reviewed them.
So, go over means to check or review something. What is the other meaning, Eric?
It can also mean to explain something in detail.
Oh. So if a teacher says, let's go over this grammar rule, they mean let's explain it step by step?
Exactly. It's very common in classrooms or meetings.
Let's try a few more examples.
Sure. Here's one. Can you go over the instructions again? I didn't understand.
That means you want someone to explain the instructions again.
Yes. And here's another. Before the interview, I went over my answers to common questions.
So, is go over formal or informal, Eric?
It's neutral. You can use it in both casual and formal situations.
Oh, that's great. So I can say, let's go over the budget in the meeting, or let's go over our plans for the weekend.
Exactly. It's super versatile.
Okay. Well, I think now our listeners understand the phrase go over better. Now, let's move on to our last word today.
The next phrase is give something a shot.
Give something a shot.
Give something a shot means to try something, especially for the first time or when you're not sure if it will work.
Oh. So if I say, I've never tried sushi before, but I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'll try it.
Exactly. You're not sure if you'll like it, but you'll try it anyway.
So we use this phrase when we're trying something new or uncertain?
Yes. For example, I don't play basketball, but I'll give it a shot. That means I'm willing to try, even though I don't have much experience.
Got it. So if I'm not good at dancing, but my friends invite me to a dance class, I can say, why not? I'll give it a shot.
Yes, that's a perfect example. It's a positive way to say you're open to trying something.
Let's try a few more examples. How about this? I've never cooked Italian food before, but I'll give it a shot this weekend.
It means I'm going to try cooking Italian food for the first time. Great one.
So, is give something a shot formal or informal?
It's informal. You'll hear it in casual conversations, but in a formal setting, you might say try or attempt.
Oh, so in a business meeting, instead of saying, let's give this idea a shot, I would say, let's try this approach.
Exactly, Lisa.
Okay. Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, today we'll listen to a podcast about I can understand English, but I cannot speak.
Let's listen to it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speak Easy English. I'm Mark.
And I'm Emma. We are so happy to be here with you today.
In this podcast, we want to help you become more confident and fluent English speakers. And today, we're talking about something really common for English learners: understanding English well, but finding it hard to speak.
Yes, it's a problem many of you tell us about. You can watch movies, understand podcasts, and maybe even read books in English. But when it comes to speaking, it feels much harder. It's like there's a block. We think this is a really intriguing topic, and we're going to explore why this happens and, more importantly, what you can do about it.
So, Emma, why do you think so many people understand English but struggle to speak?
Well, I think one big reason is confidence. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. They worry about their grammar or pronunciation not being perfect. They might think, what if I say something wrong? What if people don't understand me? This fear can really hold you back.
That's so true. It's like you're always thinking about the rules in your head. You're trying to find the perfect sentence with the perfect grammar and the perfect words all at the same time. And that can be really stressful. It can render you speechless, even if you know the words in your head.
Exactly. And sometimes focusing too much on grammar rules can actually make it harder to speak naturally. You get so caught up in trying to be correct that you forget to just communicate. It's like you're trying to build a perfect house before you even lay the foundation.
And another thing is that learning to understand English and learning to speak English are actually different skills. You can practice reading and listening a lot and get really good at understanding. But if you don't practice speaking, your speaking skills won't develop as quickly. It's like Learning to ride a bike by just watching videos of other people riding bikes. You need to actually get on the bike and try it yourself.
That's a great analogy, Mark. So, it's not just about understanding the language in your head. It's about training your mouth and your brain to produce the language in real time. Okay, so we know why it's hard to speak, even if you understand English. But what can people actually do to improve their speaking skills? What are some practical tips, Mark?
Well, one simple but really effective thing is to talk to yourself in English. I know it sounds a bit strange, but it really works. You can describe what you're doing during the day or what you're planning to do. For example, when you're making breakfast, you can say to yourself, "Okay, now I'm taking the bread out of the bag. Now I'm putting it in the toaster."
That's a great idea. It's a low-pressure way to practice because no one else is listening. So you don't have to worry about mistakes, and it helps you get used to forming sentences in English.
Exactly. And when you start speaking, keep it simple. Don't try to use complicated grammar or fancy vocabulary right away. Start with short, simple sentences. For example, instead of saying, "I would like to express my profound gratitude for your invaluable assistance," just say, "Thank you very much for your help."
Yes, start small and build up gradually. It's like learning to walk before you run. And another fantastic way to improve speaking is to join online language groups or language exchanges. There are many websites and apps where you can connect with other English learners or native speakers.
Online groups are amazing because you can practice speaking with people from all over the world right from your own home. And language exchanges are great because you can help someone learn your language and they can help you with English. It's a win-win.
And remember to make it fun. Talk about things you enjoy. If you love movies, talk about movies in English. If you're interested in cooking, talk about recipes in English. Talk about your hobbies, your interests, your daily activities. When you're talking about things you care about, it's much more engaging and motivating. Don't be afraid to break the mold and try different approaches to find what makes speaking practice enjoyable for you.
And most importantly, remember that making mistakes is totally normal and a crucial part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. Don't let the fear of mistakes stop you from speaking.
Absolutely. And be patient with yourself. Learning to speak fluently takes time and practice. Don't expect to become a perfect speaker overnight. Just focus on practicing, a little bit every day. Even 10 or 15 minutes of speaking practice each day can make a big difference over time.
So, to sum up, if you understand English but struggle to speak, you're not alone. It's a common challenge, but you can improve your speaking skills by building your confidence, practicing regularly, starting small, and making it fun.
Yes, don't be afraid to speak, even if it feels difficult at first. Every time you speak, you're making progress. Enjoy the process and celebrate your improvements along the way.
Thank you so much for joining us on Speak Easy English. We hope this episode has given you some helpful tips and encouragement.
Happy speaking, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
That podcast was really interesting. I totally agree that speaking is often harder than understanding.
Yeah, I liked how Mark and Emma explained it. Confidence is such a big issue for learners.
True. I also liked the tip about talking to yourself in English. It's a great way to practice without pressure.
For sure, the most important thing is to enjoy the process and not be afraid to try.
Absolutely. All right, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is intriguing. Then we will continue with to render and get caught up. Then lay the foundation. And the final one is break the mold.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is intriguing.
Intriguing.
Intriguing is an adjective. It means something is very interesting or makes you curious. When something is intriguing, you want to know more about it because it feels exciting or mysterious.
Oh, like when you start watching a movie and the beginning is so good that you can't stop watching.
Exactly, but it's stronger than just interesting. For example, the book had an intriguing story about a hidden treasure. This means the story was interesting and made people curious to find out what happens next.
Here's another example. She told me an intriguing secret, and now I can't stop thinking about it. This shows the secret was exciting and made her curious.
Intriguing is often used to describe stories, ideas, movies, or even people. You can say an intriguing idea or an intriguing person. Additionally, intriguing is a little formal. You'd hear it in conversations, but it might feel more natural in writing or slightly professional settings.
Got it. So I could say, the new project at work sounds intriguing, but maybe not. This pizza is intriguing.
Exactly. For pizza, you could just say it's delicious or interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when you hear or see something that makes you curious and excited, you can describe it as intriguing. Okay, shall we move on to the next word?
Let's do that. The next word is to render.
To render.
Render is a verb, and it has several meanings. But don't worry, we'll explain them one by one. Let's start with the first meaning. To cause something to be in a certain state.
Can you give an example?
Of course. Imagine a heavy snowstorm. If the roads are too dangerous to use, you could say, the snowstorm rendered the roads unsafe. Here, rendered means made. The snowstorm made the roads unsafe.
Oh, I see. So I can say, the bad internet connection rendered the video unwatchable. That means the bad internet made the video impossible to watch.
Exactly. Now, another meaning of render is to give or provide something, especially a service or help. Like when firefighters help people, we can say firefighters render assistance in emergencies.
So far, render can mean to make something a certain way or to provide something. Is there another meaning?
Yes. In technology and art, rendering means generating an image or video using a computer.
Oh, like in animated movies. People say, the animation is still rendering, meaning the computer is processing the images.
Great example. Now, let's review. Render can mean to make something a certain way. The shock rendered him speechless. It can mean to give or provide something. The doctor rendered medical care to the patient. And in technology, it means to process an image or video. The software is rendering the graphics.
Okay, well, I think now our listeners understand the word render better. Now, let's move on to our next phrase.
The next word is get caught up in something.
Get caught up in something.
To get caught up in something means to become so involved or interested in something that you forget about other things. It can be used for both positive and negative situations.
Yes. For example, you can get caught up in a good book and forget about time. But you can also get caught up in an argument and say things you don't mean.
Exactly. Let's look at an example. Sophie got caught up in watching videos and forgot to do her homework. This means Sophie was so focused on the videos that she didn't realize she had homework to do.
Here's another example. Jake got caught up in the excitement of the concert and lost his phone. This means Jake was so involved in the concert that he didn't notice he had lost his phone.
Now, let's talk about how we use this phrase in sentences. It is often followed by a noun or a verb ending in ing. For example, get caught up in work or get caught up in talking.
That's really useful. So, Eric, have you ever gotten caught up in something?
Oh, all the time. I get caught up in reading interesting articles and suddenly it's midnight.
The same. So remember, when you get caught up in something, it means you are so involved in it that you forget other things. Okay, well, I think we've explained the word pretty well. Let's move on to our next word.
The next word is lay the foundations of or for.
Lay the foundations of or for.
Lay the foundations of for is an idiom that means to start or make the first part of something important. It is like building a house. Before you build the walls and roof, you must make a strong base or foundation so the house does not fall.
Oh, so when we lay the foundations for something, we are starting something important that will grow or continue in the future.
Exactly. Here's an example. The teacher's lessons laid the foundations for the students' success. This means that the teacher's lessons help the students succeed in the future.
Great. Here's another example. The company laid the foundations for a new project by hiring more workers. This means the company started an important step to help the project grow.
Perfect. And this phrase is often used in business too. A company might say, "We are laying the foundation for success by making a strong team."
I love that. It shows that success doesn't happen overnight. You need to prepare and build step by step.
That's right. Now, let's also talk about formality. Lay the foundation is a neutral phrase. You can use it in both formal and informal situations. For example, you can say it in a business meeting. We need to lay the foundation for a successful project. Or you can say it casually. I'm laying the foundation for my dream career.
Yes. And this phrase is often used when talking about education, business, or big projects.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I think now our followers understand the phrase, lay the foundations of for better. Now let's move on to our last word of today.
The last word is break the mold.
Break the mold.
Break the mold is an idiom. It means to do something in a completely new way, not following the usual rules or traditions. For example, if everyone makes cakes in a round shape, but you make a cake shaped like a star, you are breaking the mold.
Oh, I like that example. Another example is when a teacher decides to stop giving written homework and instead asks students to make videos to explain what they learned. Is that teacher breaking the mold?
Exactly. That's a great example. It means she did something completely new and original. Here's another one. This new school is breaking the mold by using technology in every classroom.
And in my example, the artist broke the mold by using recycled materials for all her sculptures. This means she didn't follow the usual way of making art and did something original.
Perfect. And this idiom is often used in business too. A company might say, "We want to break the mold and use a new way of doing things."
I see. Is this idiom formal or informal, Eric?
Break the mold is a neutral Lisa. You can use it in both formal and informal situations. For example, in a business meeting, you might say, "Our team is working to break the mold with a new marketing strategy." Or you can say it casually, "She really broke the mold with her unique cooking style."
That's interesting. Can you also say breaking the mold when someone's actions surprise everyone because they're so different?
Yes, exactly. It's a great way to describe something unexpected and innovative. And just a reminder, this phrase shows positivity. It's about being unique or innovative in a good way.
Okay, well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now.